This is the EGC 20K Age of Empires 4 tournament. We are here to witness the final 16 generals battle, and one is about to be eliminated. You finally made it! Hey there, my name's Anuki, and like you, I've come to watch this match too. Over here in the west is General Tatoh. They are back on France and have used a lot of felt tip markers to color themselves blue so we know who's who on this map High View. If we travel all the way over to the far east, we'll discover the Abyssid Dynasty. Their general goes by the name Kasva, and they recently fled the destruction of their citadel. They're looking to settle on these lands, and I don't think Tatoh tolerates that. Does Tatoh tolerate? No Tatoh tolerate. What the hell am I saying? So, in the last match, we spoke a lot about the Abyssid Dynasty versus France matchup. Now, we didn't actually get that matchup. If you didn't watch the last match, what are you doing? Grab your compass and go locate that treasure. But as a quick recap, in match 1, France v France, Kasva won, which meant that Tatoh could have picked France in match 2, but instead they went China, and Kasva likely expected Tatoh to play France again, so they picked the Abyssid Dynasty. Now, Kasva has stuck on the Abyssid Dynasty, and we're getting that matchup that was expected previously. Right then, let's bring on the Civ overview and talk about the matchup whilst Tatoh and Kasva build up their arsenal. We already know plenty about France, so let's tackle this from the Abyssid Dynasty's point of view and what advantages and disadvantages they have. Disadvantages? Oh, well, you know, the Abyssid Dynasty can be killed. The advantages, though, well, quite a lot. Actually, there is one kind of prominent disadvantage to the Abyssid Dynasty in this matchup, and that is you just can't spam knights and destroy your opponent by catching them off guard. To fight France, it's going to take more expertise, finesse, wisdom. Some might say a houseload of wisdom, and they certainly have that. But ignoring that component, the Abyssid Dynasty has a unique unit which has caught the eye of a few of the pros, the camels. Both the horse riders and the camel archers, which are archers on camels, not archers specialized in killing camels. Both of them reduce the damage of nearby cavalry by 20%. The range is decent. I think if the camel unit can see it in its own vision range, then it will debuff the target. The camel archers, they don't fire on the move, but they do more damage than a normal archer and fire slightly faster. They have much higher health, but at the same time they cost 6 times as much food. The camel riders, again, cost a lot of food compared to their counterpart, so spamming these units typically isn't cost effective, but mixing a few of these into your army to keep debuffing the enemy cavalry is great. You can also upgrade the camels to provide 1 armor to your own units, and again, that works inside the camel's vision range. Enough about camels, though. There's a more interesting upgrade for spearmen called Phalanx. It increases the range of the spearmen by 100%, meaning they can attack in this awesome double line formation. And I hope we have the pleasure of seeing that today, but I make no guarantees on Ironcast. Tatoh and Kasva seem equal as generals go, and the civilization matchup looks great. France does have a small advantage on this map. With all the stealth forests, it can be easier to catch enemies off guard with the Royal Knights or attack villagers. Vision is not something to be neglected here, and I wonder if either general will try to acquire their share of vision using maybe more scouts or constructing more outposts. Kasva is grabbing the economic wing, which in the last match, by the way, not many Abyssid Dynasty unique technologies were actually unlocked. I wonder if that will change this time round. Kasva scouted the enemy's perimeter. Tatoh also doing a routine checkup finds all the woodcutters a potential Royal Knight raiding target. And they'd probably want to swing around this tree line. You always want to have your retreat be as short as possible, so coming at it from this angle means that when you do strike the villagers, you are already running in the direction closer to home. Bit of tactics there for you. Kasva has deployed a barrack, spearmen being produced. Expect the totally expected. That's what Grandma used to say. She never saw it coming, God rest her soul, which I think belongs to Mephistopheles now. Kasva will likely command a defensive operation for the time being, at least for a strong 10 minutes. I think that's where I see the most success against France. You gotta keep the knights away, your economy strong, and eventually unlock more capable units to pair with your spearmen. The first Royal Knight is on its way, and Kasva knows it, the scout keeping tabs. Oh, is it the first Royal? Oh, it's a Tatoh scout that's getting skewered. Don't think there's too much for Tatoh to be able to take now. Can Tatoh take? Tatoh no take. And we've got another barracks coming up along with an archery range. Diversify your army. Archers, whilst they aren't too effective against knights, they are great as a defensive unit because you can kite around all the buildings that you have, and if you place them fairly well and make enough choke points, it gets very, very difficult for those Royal Knights to maneuver. They're also cheap and not so bad to stick in the town center if they get low on health, if you can leave villagers performing other tasks. Kasva getting low on sheep, so they'll have to shift over these workers perhaps to berries or some other source of food soon. They've stopped gathering gold and are really working to build up their army to be able to defend. So food and wood all in right now. In fact, the spearmen are moving out as a Royal Knight appears behind. It'd be quite cheap to wall off that rear entrance. The position of the forest is great for it. In goes the Royal Knight, starts clubbing away, and the villagers a little bit slow on the uptake. One of them is deemed the slowest. An event seems to have caught Kasva's eye more at the front. Tatoh went and got some archers too. I usually don't see France getting archers out so soon, but it's the right call, and Kasva is more than prepared as they outnumber the archers with their own archers. And you know, something I've always wanted to try in high view, for 245 stone, you can make a stone wall with a ballista tower. Ballistas are somewhat effective against knights, but you can also stick your units on top of that wall, and the tower itself grants vision. It's costly, yes, but you gain vision, you gain a powerful weapon, and those things kind of pale in comparison to just kind of controlling the movement of those Royal Knights. They won't want to fight around anything like that. At least that's my theory. But the downside is, of course, 245 stone. Well, that's almost another town center. But then you've got to add 400 wood to that. And wood is in high demand for spears and bows. So 245 stone, you know, for a wall that you could later upgrade as well, might not be such a bad deal. Spears on guard for the woodcutters, expecting another flank. We also have extended out to gather the berries at the very back. The Abyssid Dynasty, of course, gain bonuses on gathering berries. It's really, really good. High in protein, amino acids, starch, calcium B, omega Y, potassium, everything to keep the virtual human body going. Interesting that Tatoh has invested in towers, even though they're the one playing France. These are monuments of sarcasm. Oh, better build some outposts. The Abyssid Dynasty might attack me early on. Oh, they're always so aggressive. Scout spawning 3 Royal Knights looking to go around the back, but guess where Kasva has positioned their spears and archers? Since they see this coming, the Royal Knights ride straight into the spears, take a few pokes, the archers having a shot too. No kills, but a good slap on the wrist. Take your hands out the cookie jar, Tatoh. As a general reminder, as Kasva's forces grow in numbers, they can build battering rams. But before they consider going on any kind of offensive, it would be wise to try and lock off any Royal Knight raids. And this is a popular route. They've got the spearmen covering this entrance. Having a wall here would be good, and a Royal Knight approaches from the other side. It's clear what Tatoh wants. Tatoh wants those berry pickers. There's an outpost there that they can go hide in. All is good. Kasva is clearly looking at potentially attacking. I think they're starting to save up wood for a battering ram, and that's the only thing that's holding them back. Still producing units, still adding to the army, still making sure they've got some vision around the sides, and a small defensive force to operate with. Tatoh, though, has got a lot of archers. It could be a tough assault. Archers have the advantage when defending. Kasva's spearmen will want to protect the battering rams from the few knights, but then the spearmen will die swiftly to the blue archers. If an assault goes through, we can expect high casualties. And neither general is in a position where they can rebuild their army quickly at this point. Kasva will stuff the spearmen inside the battering ram. I like it. And they're going to go for the first outpost and mill. Take whatever you can get. That's what the philosophy is at the moment. Where is Tatoh's response? They never liked that tower. Oh, Tatoh is in fact going to attack themselves. Claiming the lives of what I think is 2 villagers. Blue archers at the front. Cavalry at the back. But what happens when the spearmen pop out? I think Tatoh knows. The spearmen hit the eject button, but at the moment all they're doing really is just running around, warding off the cavalry. We've got some cavalry from the front. Splitting up that cavalry would be great. Tatoh has got Kasva on the run. Tatoh could swing round on those archers. That's exactly what they're going to do. Crash bang wallop. The spears have got to stay close to the archers. Battering ram getting burnt down by the knights. And it is Kasva that is now on the defense. Tatoh doesn't really have the tools to destroy buildings, so they're going to be looking for kills here. With more joining the ranks of Kasva's army, and the spears in a more ideal position to protect the archers. Kasva can gain the edge. Tatoh still using that charge damage to try and soften the spears up. The battle is getting messy. The knights trying their best to get to the archers. The casualties, as predicted, are high for both sides. And it would be really cool to have some kind of user interface that highlighted how many dead on the screen, so we could see the specific numbers. Man, that'd be so cool. I really feel like replay systems haven't innovated enough in RTS games. It's not sophisticated enough for me. But I know Relic do have plans to update this in the future, so it's going to be awesome to look out for. Until then, though, still plenty to enjoy as Kasva and Tatoh try and outdo each other here. We're going to be building double battering rams all the way back in Kasva's base. That's going to take a long time to travel over to Tatoh. A lot on wood and food for Tatoh. So they're really wanting to get more archers out. The scout becomes a martyr. Tato's not placing too much value in their knights anymore. Nothing but archers, well, archers counter spearmen, and archers are equal to archers. So an army of archers would work better. What the hell is this? It's a battering ram built from within inside the stealth forest right next to the blackberries. The Royal Knights will also join with this. The archers try and pick off, and they do get one villager. We have Kasva responding in overkill. These archers, though, won't be able to burn the battering ram. They got a battering ram down. I don't know how I went Looney Tunes there. But I love it. It's wacky. It's Wacko's world. The plan wasn't a success, but it was different. Can they save the outpost before it burns down? Royal Knights attacking from the front, knowing that the army has switched over to guard the rear. And another villager loses their life. Just slim pickings for Tatoh, but pickings nonetheless. Being chased away by two battering rams. You don't want to know what a battering ram can do to a horse's leg. For a relatively small force, Tatoh has managed to keep the action over on Kasva's side of the map whilst they build up this huge gathering of archers, which may come as a surprise to Kasva. Of course, Kasva's been just darting around their settlement for the time being, that they might not have realized that during that whole thing that, you know, Tatoh was still doing stuff back at home. And that stuff wasn't more knights and archers, it was all archers. They're scooting over very slowly to Tatoh settlement. They're going to be greeted by these archers. The thing is, though, Tatoh still needs a way of dealing with the battering rams. And based on history, villagers have not had a pleasant time trying to torch battering rams whilst there's archers firing down on them. Two battering rams making extremely light work of the outpost onto the mill. The villagers, they didn't make it out. They tried to get to the stealth forest in time. And what's next? Tatoh strikes back. That's what's next. A few Royal Knights in the wood line. Also, no castle, age, or camels in sight for Kasva yet. Kasva could already get camel archers out, which would debuff the enemy knights, but there's not too many of them anymore. Surely Tatoh has enough to be able to defend this. They're just choosing for now not to. Tatoh upgrading the aesthetics of their buildings has gone for the Guild Hall, an economic landmark. Kasva drawing closer to the heart of the settlement, and they're going to be discouraging those farmers from working very soon unless Tatoh does something about this. In fact, Tatoh might even lose their production buildings. The archery range is burning down, and the next one's on the chopping block. What Tatoh could really do with now is some melee units to be able to get rid of those battering rams, and since getting into the castle age, men-at-arms would be available. It would just take some time to be able to produce the number needed to stand against all those archers. Tatoh is still holding on. The Royal Knights are riding around the back, drawing some of the archers away, some of the spearmen away, cutting off the reinforcing soldiers. I think that's a really smart tactic there. I really wanted to start talking about a story I had about camels, an Age of Empires story. Here comes some siege workshops. Oh my. Mangonels would be perfect. They just have to defend the mangonels against the spearmen. But otherwise, a good few shots from mangonels would be pretty devastating. I see no reason for Tatoh to surrender yet. They just need to find a way to push back this incursion onto their lands. Taking a few shots at the red archers. Still not comfortable going ever more in. We've got a couple of outposts out near the forest, so the villagers can keep bringing in that much needed wood for more archers. Kasva targeting the school of cavalry next. Tatoh still trying to just lightly skirmish with them. The mangonel has arrived. Can it produce enough devastation? It feels like it has. The battering rams are blocking the spearmen from passing through to destroy the mangonel. Never before has there been such a perfect example of why building buildings so close together to create these choke points can really benefit you on the defense. It doesn't matter so much that the archers are getting in this close. Seems like Kasva, I mean, as brilliant as their assault was and how much they gained for it, Tatoh backed off, played it very, very calmly. And this might be the first time I might see a player rebuild. Oh my gosh. It doesn't usually happen. The white flag would have been up by now, but Tatoh doesn't look all too bad for coming back into this. We've got stables coming out, so Kasva will want to get some cavalry to try and ride into the archers. I think that's fantastic. We don't see that enough against France. Camels, because this is what I wanted to mention before the assault began, and we can use our eyes and ears to witness what Tatoh is going to do here. So Kasva could have already got camel archers out in the feudal age, which would debuff the enemy knights, but there's not so many of them as we see. The military wing would grant access to the tech which grants armor to nearby units, which would be extremely useful even if you just have one camel. That can provide a lot of armor to your group of archers. The castle age also means getting access to the camel riders. And the military wing upgrade gives them +3 melee armor. They start with 0. There's also a bug in the Imperial Age, which is a tech that grants extra armor, 2 extra armor. That doesn't actually apply, so researching it gives you a whopping nothing. It's a great deal. You give me 700 gold, 300 food, and I'll give you nothing. If that upgrade did work, though, it would mean that camel riders have the same armor as heavy lancers or knights, but 50 more health. The damage is significantly less, though, about 3 times less than knights or lancers. Both camel riders and camel archers have great bonuses, though. I remember in the Imperial Age, camel archers do a bonus 28 damage against spearmen, and camel riders do a bonus 20 damage against cavalry. So that's a heavy counter to, you know, massive royal knights. But massive royal knights is not what we have. I'm surprised Tatoh decided to attack so early. They're pushing their archers into a corner, though. You always want to try and keep your retreat path clean. And whilst they will perhaps be able to exit here unless Kasva moves directly south to cut them off, leaving 2 battering rams behind to knock on the House of Wisdom, getting it burning. Shouldn't be a problem for the villagers to begin repairing that, and Kasva did manage to catch up. Sadly, though, all these stealth forests limit the vision, preventing the archers from firing. And I'm not sure this is where Tatoh wanted to lure Kasva's military might down here, because they want the gold here. He's basically inviting them over for tea and villager death. Do you not like these villagers, Tatoh? Did they wrong you? Are they speaking out about wealth and equality again? We'll say no more, because we've got the job for them. They can mine as much gold as they'd like. That's it, mine your heart out before the cavalry mines your heart out. Tatoh, in a sticky situation. There's a lot more archers for Kasva than there is for Tatoh. Meanwhile, Kasva sent their spearmen just to go on a bit of a torching spree. Kasva probably thinking they want to keep their presence in that region and stop Tatoh from rebuilding, but they might be needed to crush the rebel uprising. And I've just remembered that I forgot something, so very quickly, if you want to check out more competitive Age of Empires 4, there's two places to look. Obviously here at Ironcast, where you can find Kasva spread out surrounding Tatoh's blue ball of archers led by one knight, Sir Alone a Lot, the loneliest knight in the realm of Tatoh. Holy hell, there's a mangonel. We'll be covering games just like this one, and also looking for casual players to join the ranks for some fun events in the future. Come along to the Discord, but also you can check out the EGC, the Elite Gaming Channel's Discord. It's nice and calm now. They are the hosts of this event, the first tournament in Age of Empires 4 history, and joining either Discord, both of the Discords will support Age of Empires 4, and that's what I'm here for. I want Age of Empires 4 to grow. These videos are not monetized for that purpose. It's all about the love of the game. Tatoh, you can't honestly expect to attack with this, can you? I know you've got a mangonel, but that seems like biting off more than you can chew. That's over-ambitious, is it not? You know this, Tatoh. Are they just trying to show presence at the door of Kasva and allow themselves to rebuild? Kasva has a pretty epic domain. Outposts all over the place. Summoning ritual has begun for a battering ram. More reinforcements arriving to lend their assistance in this God-forsaken assault as Kasva rides out to meet them in battle. The horsemen will burn the mangonel down. The mangonel just looks confused. It's probably asking itself, why am I here? Followed by, where are the camels? Someone told me camels would be here. I expected camels. Who's keeping all the camels away from us? Kasva sent some horsemen to strike the miners, but with so much going on, Tatoh is occupied, running the remaining of their forces back to the village on the verge of being restored. It's still a real shame that there's no men-at-arms, but Kasva doesn't have too many spearmen here, so building more knights might not be so bad either for Tatoh. It's just that they are slightly more expensive, and Tatoh could use a cost-effective solution to field more units as opposed to less but stronger. Not much can be achieved here with mostly just archers. Might Kasva build more battering rams? Perhaps it would be time to see some other tools of the siege trade. There's a few lucky stone miners here. They have managed to go undetected for now, mining as quiet as a mouse as to remain invisible. Kasva becoming ever more prosperous. It looks fantastic over here. It's like a holiday. Uh-oh. Someone mined too loudly. Maybe not. Ooh, this is awkward. Kasva must have been curious, maybe thinking that Tatoh had some trick up their sleeve. Maybe they saw the stone miners and incorrectly deduced that up ahead there were some other structures or villages. Either way, 3 villagers get to walk out. Another mangonel to serve Tatoh. One good shot can make a world of difference. Kasva with the Quadra Riders, fast and going straight to the lumber yards. They're so exposed. Not just a horseman, but the elements too. They'll catch a cold. It's kind of very quiet around here for Tatoh. No real defenses. Their army is in fact to the east and on the move. That's quite a hit to Tatoh's wood economy. But what's going on over here? An encirclement of the tower. They finally managed to destroy it along with the mining camp. Tatoh's looking for a fight. And it appears Kasva isn't too sure about fighting. Many of their archers are spread out and not in firing positions. They're moving up now to take up their stance. And that might have cost them a victory here. Tatoh looks like they've outnumbered them. Kasva will go ahead and issue the retreat, slinking into the forest. And that was by no means an epic fight, but it's a huge one for Tatoh to take and get as much as they got there. If they can deal with the raiding back at home, then there's a chance they can stabilize. It's been a bit erratic in the past 5 to 10 minutes. Ooh, a few horsemen. They've taken the wrong route to regroup with the main Kasva army. Stragglers everywhere. Generals, keep control of your soldiers, please. We might be seeing some wear and tear. As a reminder, both Kasva and Tatoh have been fighting each other in this best of 3 for an hour and a half now. And before that, they each had played 5 matches. This will be the last fight of the night. A lot of horsemen are going to be approaching from out of the stealth forest to surprise Tatoh. The archers, located just to the left of them, are making their move to the cut-off position so they can fire as many arrows as possible. There's a mangonel that's hit the archers as they got into position. And it's lining up another shot, reloading. Huge casualties. Kasva needs to bring their horsemen around and deal with that mangonel. Although it won't bring any of the archers back alive. Kasva trying to overwhelm Tatoh with their superior production. Just keep sending units in. Pikemen, horsemen, archers, everyone to the front. Tatoh can't reinforce as fast. But with the combat ending, they've gained another hell of a victory. Absolutely incredible, Tatoh. Another lone knight. They don't take orders, they work alone. He's the Duke of Nukem. My booed, your face. The perfect couple. I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker. Are they actually gonna get away as well? My god, this guy is a legend. Into the forest they go. There once was a tale of a knight, Tatoh, and they bludgeoned and they sliced, then they left, hey ho. Must have been the wind. Worst guards ever. They won't follow that night. Gotta remind myself in post-production later to layer in some music on that one. I was a musician, and then I had to stop ever since the accident. Kasva still stuck in the feudal age. And I've thought to myself a few times now, surely they're advancing to get siege tools soon. But then something happens that distracts me, and then I think to myself, surely they're advancing. And it keeps going on a spirally loop, but that still doesn't seem to be any desire to modernize their weapons and armor. For now, though, Kasva seems to be relying on speed and agility, the qualities that the light cavalry horsemen have. Outmaneuvering Tatoh's army. I'm gonna be looking to strike down some villagers. And in fact, Kasva is getting the military wing, so going on to age 3, halfway there. As the light horsemen get in, they spot a mangonel. That would be terrific to burn. It'll allow their next batch of archers to survive longer in the upcoming battle. Moving over to the woodcutters. They're going to try and seek cover into one of the many outposts that are constructed here, but not enough for everyone. They will be deterred by the tower arrows. They are only light cavalry. They don't have that heavy armor that knights have. I wonder what Kasva wants to prioritize once they reach the castle age. Is it going to be siege weapons, maybe bring in some men-at-arms or camels, or just updating the current infantry that they have? There's so many different directions that they can go in. So much to do. The battles that they have lost have always been in reach of victory, but it's been like having a handicap fighting an age behind, and it is. It feels like they themselves put one arm behind their back. Archers getting their veterancy upgrade as Tatoh does another ritual for a battering ram. So many battering rams this match. Once more though, Tatoh looks severely outnumbered. Nonetheless, they've been in this situation many times before and come out on top. Kasva currently residing in their base. Army moving out. You can see the blacksmith upgrades are also on their way. A bigger army and finally matching the technology that Tatoh has. This should go in Kasva's favor. Just got to look out for the Manga now. If they can get the light cavalry around the side and avoid the spearman guard. They don't want the Mangonel to die, but they have to make sure that Mangonel is situated in a group of units because there's plenty of horsemen just to ride around the side. The spearmen engage. The light cavalry do indeed ride around and are in range of the torches. That Mangonel is down. Tatoh appears extremely surrounded, but it's impressive what a few spearmen can do to light cavalry. A few of the knights trying to deal with the archers, but there's so many of them. This is indeed going in Kasva's favor. The battering rams still work on the House of Wisdom. And there's no melee units. Nobody to burn the battering rams. Except for the few new units which have just been produced. The House of Wisdom is on fire. A few villagers will come to repair it. Kasva has pushed the blue forces away. And now, with the time that they have in the next few minutes, we can finally get some camels out. Yeah, camel power! We're almost 40 minutes in, and we finally get to see this. This is going to be a super buff for the units that have managed to live through that battle and the new ones, which are recruits on the battlefield. Kasva's just going to head straight out. And they've got the numbers. The numbers is not the problem. But between archers and heavy cavalry and a couple of camels, again, all they can really do is seek kills. A victory through death. Tatoh will try to meet them. But against overwhelming numbers, every single one of these archers is going to be terminated. More forces on their way, colored in red. And the heavy knights are doing fantastic against the archers. They're so heavily armored that those poor blue archers just do almost no damage. And with a whimper, the white flag is raised. France has been defeated. Congratulations to Kasva for their second victory in this best of 3. Kasva will proceed to the quarterfinals. It was a spectacular 3 rounds. I'm sure everyone is exhausted. It's time for us all to get some rest, I think. So food up, drink on, sleep in, and move over to the next match. I'll see you there. My name's Anuki, and hold on, don't forget to check out the Ironcast Discord. I need recruits for future video projects. Doesn't that sound interesting? If not, then I gotta work on my marketing. All right, I'm heading out. Have fun, everyone.